I'm Katie Ovrom, teaching at 21st Yoga this afternoon. Welcome to this Facebook Live class. Thanks so much for joining. Today's class is going to be a core class. So if you have a block, that's awesome and you'll want to use that. You can also get creative if you have like a stack of books or something along those lines. You can use that for a block as well. So from core, what you can expect from today is our practice is going to be about an hour long. It's a pretty challenging class if you've ever had a chance to do it before, but it's not challenging so much because we move quickly or we do super advanced poses. It's because we tend to stay and hold. So feel free to modify or take breaks, but I also invite you to explore your edge a little bit and get a little bit more comfortable being uncomfortable. So let's start in a nice comfortable seat. So if you have a block, you might choose to sit up on it or on the ground. It's just fine. And then allow your eyes to close if you're comfortable with that, or just move to a soft gaze. Take an inhale to shrug your shoulders up next to your ears. And then exhale, just roll them back and down. Start to breathe more intentionally in and out through your nose. If you're familiar with Ujjayi breath, we'll begin that practice now. If you're newer to Ujjayi, Ujjayi is an athletic, strong breath made by gently constricting the muscles at the back of the throat. Sounds a little bit like a whisper or an ocean wave. So as you inhale, you could imagine gasping, but in through your nose. And as you exhale, think about trying to fog up a mirror, but again, out through the nose. Turn the volume up on your breath. So throughout our practice today, your breath should remain steady, constant. Even if you add music or have music in the background, I really encourage you to breathe in such a way that you can always hear that breath. It's an anchor you can come back to again and again. So let's take about 5 more rounds of breath in this way in preparation to move. Follow your next exhale all the way to empty and feel how that connects you to your core strength already. Pause in that emptiness for a moment. Create Uddiyana Bandha, which is our navel to spine lock. We'll use that a lot throughout our practice. And then on your next inhale, sweep your arms overhead, reach tall. As you exhale, draw your hands into your heart center. We're starting with some connection breath here. As you inhale, reach straight forward and then wide open with your arms, little chest stretch. Exhale, hands return to heart center. Good. Inhale, reach for the sky as you root down through your sit bones. And then exhale, let your arms come all the way down along your sides. We're going to take 2 more rounds just like that. Inhale, reach arms to the sky, fill up on your breath. Exhale, hands to heart, follow your breath to empty, connect, navel to spine, feel that strength. Inhale, reach forward and wide open. Exhale, hands return to heart center. Inhale, reach tall, root down through sit bones, and exhale, arms release down along your sides. Let's do 1 more like that, really build your breath. Inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, hands to heart, connect to center and core. Inhale, reach forward and wide open, press your chest forward. You can even bend your elbows a little bit, feel that back strength. Exhale, hands return to heart. Inhale, reach tall. You can lift your chin or look up if you like. And then exhale, arms release down along your sides. Let's take 1 more of those shoulder shrugs. So inhaling, shoulders up next to ears. And then exhale, roll them back and down. From where you are, still breathing, come forward to hands and knees, tabletop position. If you've got a block, just set it somewhere it'll be easy for you to reach. You may want to take your knees slightly wider than your hips, We're going to do another breath exercise, but this one will connect us more to that fire and strength. This is Uddiyana Bandha and cat-cow. So I'll demonstrate one and then we'll do 3 together. So you're going to inhale, swinging your hips back and your heart forward. Then we're going to exhale through the teeth as we arch the back and empty out like so. You're going to hug your chin up towards your chest, hold empty as long as you can, connect to that strength. So let's start all together here. Inhale, fill up, swing hips back, heart forward. Exhale out the mouth. Once you're empty, hold empty. Keep that action of exhaling going as you hug your navel in and up towards your spine. Then in your own time and pace, we'll take 2 more. Inhale, fill up as you're ready. Connect to strength, hold there, stay as long as you comfortably can. 1 more round as you're ready. Let your head hang, neck relax, all that strength concentrates around your center. And then inhale back to a neutral spine, hands and knees. Make sure your hands are directly under your shoulders, fingers spread wide, setting up for spinal balance, core stabilization. So you can look down here so your neck is neutral. Then inhale your right arm forward and your left leg back. So a little bit of an asymmetrical balance. If you're wobbling, you're doing this exactly right. If this feels like a lot of pressure on that right knee, you can fold over your mat for some padding or use a blanket. So reach from your navel here. Try to pull yourself apart. Then as you exhale, put a little bend in that left elbow, hug in towards center line. Follow your breath to empty. Keep your left pinky toe pointing at the ground. Take 1 more inhale here. Then let's try zigzag. So exhale, reach your right arm out to the right. Flex your left foot, kick it out to the left. You might wobble a little bit more, that's okay. Take 1 more inhale here. And then exhale, bring it back to center. Inhale, reach front to back. And then let's try a little bind. Bend your left knee. Reach back with your right hand. You don't have to grab your foot. You can just reach towards it. If it's accessible, go ahead and grab your foot. Take your gaze and your chest towards the front of the room. Take a big inhale. Exhale, if you've got your foot, kick it into your hand. Take 3 breaths here. Explore that space through your front body. Strength through your back body. 1 more strong exhale. Bottom of that exhale, carefully release and re-extend. Take an inhale to reach. Exhale, elbow to knee underneath you, hollow out, make contact if you can. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, set down your right hand. You're going to turn your right toes off of your yoga mat like a little kickstand and open up to a modified side plank. So your left arm's reaching high. You're going to flex that left foot back, kick for the sky. Take a few big breaths here. You can reach your left arm forward if you'd like to open more through that side body. Take 1 more full inhalation. And then exhale, come back to hands and knees. Take your time to get there. We're going to set up for our first dolphin pose of practice. Yes, there will be more than 1 dolphin. So come on down to your forearms. I suggest taking opposite hand to opposite bicep first. That way your elbows don't go wider than your shoulders. Then bring your forearms out so they're either parallel like the number 11, or you can interlace your fingers. Relax your head and your neck down. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips, you'll find yourself in dolphin. If you've got the space, walk your feet in a little bit closer to your elbows. Bend your knees here so that you can really reach your sit bones up. You want to avoid any rounding through your upper back. So if that's happening, push down more through your forearms. Squeeze your elbows in towards one another and really bend your knees. That'll keep your spine nice and long. Relax your neck and breathe here. One helpful trick as heat and intensity starts to build is you might choose to send a sigh or an exhale out your mouth. One of the things we focus on a lot in these more intense classes is learning how to relax when we can, even as things feel intense. So rather than clenching your jaw, creating more tension in your body, can you soften your jaw, soften your forehead and your hands, relax where you can, and direct that energy to your breath, to your core. You can take breaks as needed, but again, we're exploring that edge. A little bit of discomfort is okay. Let's take one more full breath in here. As you exhale, lower your knees and take either a child's pose, embryo, or puppy. I like embryo a lot because it's a nice release on the shoulders, so for that your knees would stay together. Your arms reach to the back of the room. Relax your forehead down. You can even slide a block under your forehead. About 5 rounds of breath here to your back. Let your exhale soften you towards the ground. Move some of that heat that we just built to the ground underneath you. Take one more inhale, puff up that back with your inhalation. Exhale to soften through face, forehead, and jaw. Then inhale up to hands and knees. I'm going to flip around here so I don't mess up my sides. And we're going to take spinal balance on the other side. So set up that stable foundation first. Spread your fingers wide. Press into your fingertips so you feel the palms of your hands lifting a little bit off the mat. That helps your wrists out. Then inhale the left arm forward, right leg back. Again, you can fold over that left side of your mat for padding if you'd like. Spin your right pinky toe to face the ground. So your right hip is pointing down rather than opening out to the side. Little bend in that right elbow, hug in. Inhale, reach front to back. Exhale here, zigzag. Left arm out to the left, flex your right foot, kick it to the right. Really try to strengthen that right leg, lift from your outer right thigh. Take one more big inhale. It's awesome if you're wobbling, means you're going for it. Exhale, bring it back to center. Inhale right here. Then here's our little bind. Bend your right knee. Reach back with your left hand. You can stay right here. Or if it's available, grab your foot. Big inhale takes your chest forward, gaze forward. Exhale, kick your foot if you've got it. That's going to help with balance and engaging your back more. 3 spacious breaths. Finding that softness, even in intensity, always trying to balance out our strength with some ease. Last big inhale, explore that space across the front of your chest. Exhale, carefully release, re-extend. We'll inhale to reach long, and then exhale, elbow to knee underneath you, hollow out. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, set down left hand, spin your left toes off your mat. Inhale, open up, modified side plank on this side. Big inhale, reach for the sky. Flex that right foot, give it a big kick up. Hug your left shoulder blade onto your back. Option to send your right arm forward if you want to. We'll take one more full inhale. Exhale, hands and knees. Here's dolphin number 2. So come on down to your forearms. Opposite hand to opposite elbow or bicep. Then bring the forearms out in front of you, palms face down. Relax head and neck. Inhale to your upper back. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. Here's dolphin. Tiptoe your feet in a little bit closer. Bring that generous bend into your knees. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, visualize tracing your breath along the length of your spine here. Using those exhales out the mouth at any time. This time in dolphin, as an option, inhale your right leg up and back. Inhale, reach out through the sole of that right foot. Exhale, push into the ground through both forearms. If you really energize that leg, it can make this pose feel lighter on your shoulders. Take another inhale to stretch long. Exhale, set down your right foot, follow your breath to empty. Inhale, sweep the left leg up and back. Exhale, push into the ground, reach into the sky. Couple big breaths here. Keep relaxing your jaw. Keep pushing down with your forearms. One more inhale. Exhale, set down your foot. Here's our final inhalation in this dolphin. And then exhale to your resting pose of choice. Child's, embryo, puppy. I'm going to sit up into hero, which is a kneeling resting pose. Take a couple shoulder shrugs, can feel good. Notice if you're like me, it's actually more of a challenge to stay connected to the breath in moments of ease. So notice if your breath kind of drops out when we visit these resting poses, view them as an opportunity to reconnect, recommit to that Ujjayi breath practice, that anchor and foundation for our practice together. Couple more slow, steady breaths. One more inhale, fill up your back, let your belly expand. One more exhale to release any heat, any tension. Then let's inhale to hands and knees. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Tuck your toes and let's press back to downward facing dog. So spread fingertips wide, just like we did earlier. Push more into your fingertips. Feel the palms of your hands lift a little bit. You can pedal out your legs here if that feels good, or shake your head out, yes and no. But bring that steady Ujjayi breath in here. So as you inhale, feel that breath rising like a wave. Exhale all the way to empty, hugging navel in and up towards your spine. So even down dog is a core posture. Secret, basically every yoga pose is a core pose, so core yoga is pretty broad. It's really more about our focus on the breath and our commitment to those strong exhales. Take one more huge inhale where you are. And then exhale to tiptoe, step, or hop your feet up to meet your hands for a standing forward fold. Feet are at hip width distance, head gets to hang heavy. As you inhale, slide your hands up your shins, halfway lift. Stay here for a moment. Bend your knees slightly. Press your hands into your shins, feel your shoulders draw away from your ears. Take one more inhale into this long spinal extension, and then exhale, refold. Hug navel to spine empty, bring it all the way up to standing. Inhale, reach for the sky, you can look up if you like. Exhale, hands to heart. Moving into a little core flow. Inhale, sweep your arms tall. Exhale, swan dive forward slowly. See if you can use your entire exhale to transition. From here, bend your knees deeply, weight into your heels. You can lift and spread your toes. Inhale, reach your arms to the wall behind you. Palms face in here. Bend your elbows. Take an inhale to roll the fronts of your shoulders up. As you exhale, imagine trying to hug a pencil between your shoulder blades. You're squeezing in with a lot of strength there. Take one more big inhale, gazes down, neck is neutral. Exhale back to your standing forward fold. Weight returns to your toes. Hug navel to spine empty, bring it all the way up to standing. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms sweep up, reach for the sky. Exhale, take that swan dive forward. Good, slow and steady. Bend your knees deeply, weight into your heels. This time we'll bring the arms to goalpost or cactus position. So elbows directly out from shoulders. I like to spread my fingers wide, helps energize my hands. Take a big inhale, lift your elbows. As you exhale, gently hug shoulder blades together and down. You're sitting deep enough that if possible, your thighs are parallel with the ground or on their way. Take a big inhale, lift the elbows. Exhale, forward fold. Strong legs, strong core, bring it all the way up to standing. Inhale, we'll reach tall. Exhale, hands to heart. I'm going to turn so you see my back for this next little sequence here. We're going to do standing side bends. So make sure both of your feet are firmly rooted. And then inhale, reach your arms up. Take your right thumb and right thumb and middle finger catch your left wrist. Big inhale to your back ribs. Exhale, push your hips to the left, reach up and over to the right side. So if you start to collapse forward here with that left shoulder, try to open it back up. As you exhale, pull with your left arm to stabilize that shoulder like you're trying to pull it out of your right hand. Take one more big inhale to that left side. Exhale, bring it back to center. Switch your grip so your left hand is holding your right wrist. Big inhale. Exhale, push your hips first, then dive up and over. Root down strongly with those feet. Feel your kneecaps pulling up. That engages your quads. Inhale to your right side this time. Exhale, hug in through your left side. One more big inhale, pull down with that right arm. Bring it back to center with your next inhale. Then as you exhale, just release your hands behind you and interlace your fingers. Soften your knees. If possible, press the base of your palms together here. Please keep a bend in your elbows. That'll keep you more in your muscles. So if it's available, you might work with lifting your hands away from your low back. Take a big inhale, lift your chest up. And then as you exhale, come into a forward fold with a shoulder stretch. So you can keep that clasp. If it's uncomfortable, you can release your hands to the ground at any time. A few deep breaths here. One more big inhale, reach knuckles up. Exhale, release hands to low back first and then all the way to the ground. As you inhale, slide your hands up your shins for that halfway lift. Then plant your hands, make your way to a plank pose, top of a push-up. For this next little sequence, I'm going to demonstrate the modified version. The more advanced version is going to be to take push-ups without lowering your knees. So what we're going to do here is inhale at the top. Exhale, you're going to lower halfway down. You can lower your knees or keep them lifted. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to do that little flow 4 more times. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower, hug navel to spine, roll your shoulders back. Inhale, press up. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, forward, plank. Exhale, lower, lower your knees or keep them lifted. Inhale, press up. Exhale, down dog. Let's do one more. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower, strong core. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down dog, and hold for 5 rounds of breath. As we did earlier, you can shake your head out yes and no if you'd like. You can hold steady, but whatever you do, please stay connected to that strong Ujjayi breath. Excellent. Take one more big inhale where you are. As you exhale, bend your knees and look forward, step or hop to a forward fold. Inhale, slide hands up, shins, halfway lift. Exhale, bow, fold it in. Hug navel to spine empty, bring it all the way up to standing. Inhale, we'll reach tall. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms sweep. Like we did a moment ago, right hand catches left wrist, root your feet, big breath in. Exhale, push hips to the left, you go up and over to the right. One inhale this time. Exhale, bring it back to center. Switch your grip, then take a big inhale. Exhale, hips to the right, up and over to the left. One big inhale as your feet stay rooted. Exhale, bring it back to center. This time, inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, standing back, bend your elbows, that goalpost cactus position. Keep low belly toned. Inhale, re-extend your arms. And exhale, sit back into a chair pose, Utkatasana. Take an inhale where you are. As you exhale without moving your legs, lower your chest, sweep your arms to the back of the room, palms face down. Inhale, come back up to regular chair, move slow and controlled. Exhale, lower your chest, bend elbows, engage mid-back. Inhale, lift back up, one more. Exhale, lower chest, reach back. Inhale, come back up to chair. Take an exhale to slide your hips back and a little bit further down. Either stay right here, or as you inhale, lift up to your tiptoes. Exhale, maybe you can sit a tiny bit deeper, a little balance challenge. Inhale, high mountain, reach up, stay on your tiptoes if you can. Exhale, take that swan dive forward. Be playful and kind with yourself. It's okay if balance is a challenge. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands, step to plank. Take a big inhale here at the top. This time we'll vinyasa, so exhaling to lower down. Inhale to Cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog, take it back. This is humbling, teaching while practicing. So nice job, everybody. Take an exhale to connect to your center. Inhale, we're gonna stretch the right leg up and back. Move slowly. Core and really all, well not all, but a lot of power yoga, our strength, comes from using muscle rather than momentum. Push more into your fingertips. Little bend in that left knee, and you might be able to lift your right leg higher or just longer. Take another full inhale. Exhale, hug your right knee to your chest, get all the way empty, pause here. Inhale to your back. Exhale all the way to empty. Step your right foot forward softly, and let's lower that left knee to begin. Drive your right foot into the ground, and inhale, reach for the sky. As you exhale, bring your hands behind your head and interlace your fingers. Take an inhale to lift your chest. Keep pushing strongly with your right heel down, and then energetically hug your right hip back. Once we've got that stable foundation, you can work a back bend from your mid-back if you'd like. Press your head into your hands, draw your shoulder blades together. Inhale, your chest is lifting. Keep pushing into that right heel, hugging the right hip back. Take one more inhale to your chest. Exhale, lift your chest back up to center. Reach your arms to the sky, tuck your back toes, left toes if they're not already. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Exhale, soften your shoulders. Keep hugging that right hip back. Can you hear your breath? Rising out of a strong foundation of your legs. Think about inhaling your low ribs high away from the top of your pelvis, so there's a lot of space, your belly breathing. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, like we did in chair, lower your chest, sweep your arms back. Back leg is super strong. Inhale, lift back up, slow and controlled. Exhale, lower chest, sweep arms back, bend your elbows. Inhale, lift back up. One more, exhale, lower chest, bend your elbows. This time we're gonna stay here. You might need to hop that back leg forward a tiny bit. Then we're gonna try to take off into a warrior 3 variation. It's okay if you wobble. For this one, I like to bring my hands to the center of my right thigh. Makes it easier to access my core. You're pointing that left hip at the ground, similar to what we did in Spinal Balance earlier. Take a couple breaths, make sure you can hear it. We're just practicing, no need for perfection. It's okay if you're wobbling. Big inhale. Exhale, land back in your crescent lunge as gracefully or ungracefully as that's going to happen today. And then exhale, bring your hands down to frame that right foot. Keep your left hand on the ground or your block or your stack of books. And we're going to create our twisting lunge, lifting your right arm. Exhale, we're still hugging the right hip back. You can lower your back knee if you want to lessen intensity here. If you've got the knee lifted, be sure that leg is very strong. The exhale is the force for ringing out here. Good, take one more inhale. Exhale, unwind. Step your right foot back to a plank pose. I'm gonna flip around so I can face you. We're gonna set up full side plank on the right side. So right hand is your base. Turn your body open to the left. Stack your feet if that's okay for you. If it's too much, you can stagger them. You can step your left foot back behind you. You can even do this on your forearm instead. lift your hips as high as you can. The higher you lift your hips, the more you're in your core instead of your shoulder. Couple more breaths. Soften your jaw, soften your face. One more big inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Lower your left forearm. Turn your body open to the right side of the room. Forearm side plank. Lift your hips, same thing. Try to get them as high as you can. Hug your left shoulder blade onto your back. Full breath. Support yourself with that breath. Take one more inhale, lift your hips. Exhale to forearm plank. We're going to hang out here. Not forever, but for some period of time. If you want, you can absolutely lower your knees for support. You can also rock your weight forward and back like little saws. Forearm plank is one where it's really easy to start tensing up. You can lower your knees if you need a break, but please keep relaxing your face and your forehead. Use your tools. You can exhale out the mouth. Few more rounds of breath. One more inhale. Exhale, let's lower to Sphinx or Baby Cobra. So you're going to lower to your belly, press the tops of your feet flat, slide your forearms a little further out in front of you. On my back, move these blocks so you can see me. It feels a little bit better to walk the hands farther forward and lift my elbows off the ground a few inches. You can then hug them in towards center line and really pull with your fingertips to create a little bit of traction. Keep a little bit of tone through your low belly. Think about trying to point your sit bones down at your knees. That'll take some tension off your low back as well. Then take a couple more big belly breaths. As much as we want to strengthen our abdominal wall in this class, part of that strength is also flexibility. So we do need to let our bellies relax, breathe, and expand on those inhales. Take one more inhale like that. Exhale, pull your elbows out wide, lower your forehead, rest for a couple breaths. All right, bring your hands alongside your mid-ribs, elbows are pointing up. Your choice here, you can inhale up through hands and knees, or you could take a reverse push-up. Exhale, let's all meet in that downward facing dog. Reconnect, recommit to your breath. Remember, that is your anchor. If you start to lose connection with your breath or it's hard to breathe, that's a great indicator that it's time to take a break. And then on the flip side of that, if you can breathe, if you're feeling okay, that's a good indicator you can stay in a posture even if it feels challenging. Exhale, connect to center. Inhale, stretch your left leg up and back. Exhale, keep that left pinky toe pointing down so the hip isn't opening quite yet. We'll do that a little later. Little bend in your right knee. That might allow you to lift that left leg higher or just longer. Head and neck get to relax. Drive your fingertips into the ground. Take one more inhale. Exhale, hug your left knee to your chest. Stay here. Inhale, puff up your back. Exhale, to empty, hug navel to spine. Then put your left foot forward and let's softly lower that right knee. Fold over your mat for padding if that's helpful. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hands come behind your head, interlace your fingers. Switch your fingers, the cross of your fingers from your habitual way so it feels a little bit strange. Then push into your left heel, hug your left hip back, so we're always looking for strength, stability first. Then some freedom. Inhale, lift your chest and heart up. Exhale, push your head into your hands. Draw your shoulder blades together. So even when we go into back bends, we're going in with a lot of strength and support. 3 full, spacious breaths. Keep pushing that left heel down, drawing the left hip back. Even though we've got the back knee on the ground, your legs should feel really active. One more big inhale. Exhale, chest lifts back up to center. Tuck your back toes, your right toes if they're not already. Release your arms up towards the sky. Inhale, lift that back knee. You're in high crescent lunge. Same little adjustments. You might be able to see it in my body. My left hip wants to creep forward. I have to put effort in to pull it back, which orients my right hip more forward as well, gets my core more engaged. Inhale to lift. Exhale, chest lowers, palms turn to face the ground, elbows bend. Inhale, back up to your regular lunge. Slow and controlled exhale, lower your chest, arms sweep back, bend your elbows. Inhale, sweep up. One more, exhale, lower chest, reach back. You might need to take a little hop forward like I do, and then let's fly up to our warrior three. So you can keep your arms like this, more of an airplane pose, or like I'm doing, bring your hands to the center of your left thigh. It's going to help with balance and stability. You can put your hands down on a block as well. As you exhale, find your center. You can exhale out the mouth for help. Shh. Looking for that navel to spine connection and support. Right pinky toe is facing the ground. Length through your neck. You might tuck your chin a little bit to maintain that. One more big inhale. Exhale, land in your crescent lunge. Inhale, we'll reach. Exhale, hands to the ground, framing your left foot. Lower your back knee if you need some support, otherwise keep it lifted. Here's our twist. Right hand on the ground or block or stack of books, and then lift that left arm. Exhale, keep hugging your left hip back. Inhale, allow the crown of your head to reach forward so your chest opens. Exhale is the strength of the twist. That's where our mobility comes from. Back leg is strong. One more inhale. Exhale to plank. So lower that left hand, step your left foot back. I'm going to flip around so I'm facing you. And then here's side plank on that left side. So left hand scoots to the center of your mat. Turn your body open to the right. Maybe you stack your feet with flexed feet to energize your legs. Maybe you stagger your feet. Maybe you step your right foot behind you for more support. Plug your left shoulder onto your back. Lift those hips as high as they're willing to go. One more big inhale. Exhale to plank. Lower slowly to your right forearm. Turn your body open to the left wall. Forearm side plank here. Same thing, keep lifting your hips. A lot of energy through your legs. So if you can, pull your kneecaps up, your quads will engage, that'll help you out. Take one more inhale. Exhale, plank pose, forearm plank pose. You can hold steady. You can lower your knees like I'm doing, catch your breath for a minute. Or if you want more intensity, you're gonna bend your knees without them touching the ground. And then imagine trying to crunch your mat up underneath you. So it's an energetic pulling back with your forearms, dragging forward with your feet. Even though nothing is moving, you'll feel a lot of energy concentrating around your center. Couple more breaths right here. Soften your jaw. How can you find little pockets of ease, even in the midst of intensity? Big inhale. Exhale, Sphinx pose, let it go. Press the tops of your feet flat, forearms slide out in front of you. Couple big belly breaths. You can even take some neck rolls here, dropping chin to chest and rocking side to side. So even in these moments of a little bit more ease or just less intensity, make sure you're still feeling your breath, you're still connecting with your breath. Training ourselves that whether things feel stressful or relaxed in life, we can always be in touch with our breath. Take one more inhale. Exhale, open your elbows, lower your forehead. It's time to release your arms down along your sides, turn your head to one side, and let's just rest for a couple breaths. and turn your forehead back to the ground. Get ready for Locust Pose. So as you inhale, you're going to lift everything off the ground except your belly. Unless you can levitate, then also lift your belly. That would be awesome. Relax your glutes here. Bring your big toes together. If they can touch, great. If not, we're just moving in that direction. Bend your elbows. So if you haven't noticed by now, core is not just our abdominal wall. We also focus a lot on our back and our side body. So this one is a great back strengthener. Tuck your chin a little bit. Want to make sure we're not cranking our neck. Bend your elbows, keep hugging in like you're trying to hold that pencil between your shoulder blades. Take one more inhale, ride that wave of breath up, and then exhale, release to the ground. Hands come alongside mid-ribs, your choice again. Press up through hands and knees or take a reverse push-up. Exhale, let's meet back in our downward facing dog. Reconnect to breath. You've got the option here to hold steady in down dog, or I'm going to lead a few of what are called turbo dog push-ups. So if you want to try this with me, bend your knees, take an inhale. Exhale, bend your elbows a lot so they're only a few inches off the ground. Squeeze towards center line, hug navel to spine. Inhale, straighten out your arms. Exhale, bend elbows, hug in, so much like you're trying to pop a balloon. Inhale, straighten out your arms. Exhale, bend elbows, squeeze in. Inhale, straighten out arms. Let's do two more. Exhale, bend elbows, hug in, hug navel to spine. How can you use core for support? Inhale, straighten out. Last one, relax your jaw, bend your elbows, squeeze in. Inhale, straighten out. Then let's all together here, the next time you inhale, breathe in through your nose. Once it feels like you're full, see if you can get in a little bit more breath and then pause for a moment, hold full. Then sigh out your mouth. Let's do one more like that, inhale, fill up. Can you get any more breath in, then hold full, relax. Big sigh, let it go. Good, inhale, stretch that right leg up and back. Without moving your shoulders, bend and twist, let your right hip open, bend your right knee. Push down more with your right hand so that right shoulder doesn't jut forward. Couple big inhales up towards your right hip flexor. And then exhale, let's step the right foot all the way up between the hands. I'm gonna flip around so I'm facing you here. We're gonna spin the left foot flat so it's parallel with the back edge of your mat. And then inhale to a warrior two. Good, exhale, soften your shoulders as you dive into a strong lunge here. If you're like me and you carry a lot of tension in your shoulders, I like to flip my palms up, bend my elbows. Totally optional though. Keep lunging strongly into your right leg. Hug that right knee out so it tracks over your second toe. We're gonna try something kind of fun. This is a challenge for your obliques. I've heard this called Victorious Warrior before. So you're gonna keep your right palm facing up. You're gonna reach forward like you were going into side angle, but then you're also gonna send your left arm overhead, creating a V that frames your face. Big inhales. Takes a lot of core strength to keep facing out. If you need some support, lower your forearm to your thigh. That's great, no worries. Take one more inhale where you are. Then bring your left hand back up so it's reaching towards the sky. Turn to look at the ground. Bring your left hand to your left hip. You might want to creep your back foot in a little bit. And then we're going to rock up to a Halfmoon Pose. I recommend using a block. I definitely do in my practice. Flex your left foot, kick it super high, reach your left arm to the ceiling. Halfmoon isn't for you today. You can always do triangle instead. Full breath. One more inhale. Exhale, lower your left hand. Both hands can be on your block or stack of books if you've got one. Coming into warrior three with your legs, we're going to try something a little bit different. This is a balance challenge, so please be kind, patient, compassionate with yourself. We're not looking for perfection. Left leg, back leg, super strong. Parallel with the ground if possible. Bend your right knee a tiny bit. Exhale, hug navel to spine. Then reach your arms to the wall behind you. Bend your elbows a little bit. Now you can stay right here, or you can try this balancing jet airplane with me. You're gonna bend your right knee a lot. Lower your chest and belly till they're touching your thigh. Then you're tipping your body like a set of scales. Your head is going towards the ground. Your left toes are going towards the sky. It's okay if you're wobbling or if you need to lower your hands to the ground. No worries. Take one more inhale, reach. Exhale, hands to the ground. Hug left knee to your chest. And then set left foot down next to right, standing forward fold. Walk your feet out as wide as your yoga mat. We're going to come into a yogi squat or malasana. So you can turn your toes out and heels in, hands towards your heart center. If you'd like, you can sit up on a block, and it's okay if your heels lift a little bit here. That's just kind of about mobility through your legs, around your knees. Perhaps close your eyes for a moment, return to your breath. Try to have a long spine with your shoulders rolling back and down, chest is open. Really great work so far. Take one more inhale where you are. And then exhale, lower hands to ground. Come back into a forward fold, taking your time to get there. You can walk your feet until they're hip bone distance apart. Then we're going to try out this little IT band stretch before we get back into our flow. So you're going to start by keeping your right fingertips on the ground or a block out in front of that space between your feet. Bend your right knee a lot. Start to straighten out your left leg, pull your left hip towards the back of the room, and then lift your left arm towards the sky. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hug that left hip back. Hopefully you feel a stretch along that side of your left leg. Big inhale. Exhale back to your forward fold. Left hand stays on the ground. Bend your left knee a lot. Straighten out your right leg. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hug your right hip back. Couple big breaths here to the outside of that right hip. Exhale, unwind, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long. Plant your hands, step to plank pose. Your choice, take a vinyasa, take a push-up, or just meet us in downward facing dog. You can go right from plank to down dog if you like. Reconnecting, recommitting to that breath. Inhale to sweep your left leg up and back. Take your time. Careful bend and twist here, so keeping your shoulders even to the best of your ability. You can spread your left toes, that'll help keep that leg active. Then if your left shoulder kind of dipped, push down more with your left hand, even out your shoulders. Take one more inhale. Exhale, carefully step your left foot all the way up between your hands. Spin your right foot flat so it's parallel with the back edge of your mat. Inhale, here's warrior two on this side. Exhale, soften shoulders. Just look down at your feet for a second and make sure that left knee isn't going past your left ankle. That puts a lot of pressure on the knee. If that's happening, you can just widen your stance. Then rotate your left palm to face up. Start to reach forward like side angle. You can lower your forearm if you need some support. Otherwise, victorious warrior. Right arm also coming overhead, creating that V. Bonus points if you don't clench your jaw. That's the hardest part for me. Take another inhale and lower your left forearm to your left thigh. Reach your right arm up for a moment. Then lower your right hand to your right hip. Gaze down at the ground. You can either rock straight up to half moon, or you can do what I'm doing of kind of creeping that back foot forward a little bit and then rocking up. Hand on a block is a great tool. Right arm eventually reaches to the sky. Flex your right foot, stacking right hip directly on top of left. Breathe to this wide open shape. Can you feel all the strength of your body, all the strength of your breath available to you here? One more huge inhale. Exhale, both hands down to the block if you've got one, or the ground. Warrior three legs, so right pinky toes pointing at the ground. Slight bend in your left knee is okay. Exhale, navel to spine. Find that strength. Then sweep your arms to the back of the room. Capital letter T shape is our full warrior three. That's what you're trying to create with your body. Perfect place to stay. Or if you'd like to come with me with that strange balancing jet airplane, bend your standing leg, your left leg. Lower your chest and belly till they're touching your thigh. Tip your head towards the ground. Reach your right toes towards the sky. This is a really tricky balance. It's okay if you're wobbling or you need to lower your hands. Just be playful with it if you can. Take one more big inhale. Then hands to the ground. Hug right knee to chest, hollow out. Set right foot down next to left, standing forward fold. This time, let's just bend one knee deeply than the other. Kind of shift that weight out through your legs. Let your head and neck hang. And then as you feel ready, find feet at hip bone distance apart and create a Ragdoll Pose. Opposite hand to opposite elbow. Bend your knees, rock your weight forward towards your toes. Weight is moving so far forward, it almost feels like you're going to somersault forward, but that's where your core comes online, stabilizes, and holds you in place. Even though forward folds may not look like core postures, they absolutely are. Anytime we're releasing our back, we're looking for strength through the front body. Just a couple more breaths, you guys are doing great. One more big inhale. Exhale, release hands to the ground. Inhale, slide hands up, shins. Plant your hands, step to plank pose. I'm gonna do a little bit of a fun heart opener here before we start winding things down. So like we got into our side plank earlier, right hand to the center of your mat. Start to turn your body open to regular side plank. But this time, everybody please step your left foot back behind you. You're up on the ball of that left foot, knee is pointing up. Wild thing. So you're starting to rotate your chest towards the ceiling, hugging your right shoulder blade onto your back. That left arm reaches out behind you. Keep hugging right shoulder onto your back. Take another huge belly breath. Exhale, slow and controlled back to your plank pose. Let's try the other side. Left hand scoots towards the center. Start to turn your body open to the right wall. Lift your right arm. Then step that right foot back behind you. Up on the ball of your right foot, right knee pointing up. Start your rotation, chest open towards the ceiling. Right arm reaches back behind you. If you want some support for your neck, you can also slide your hand behind your head instead. Push into the ground, take one more inhale. Exhale, bring it back to center. Take an inhale at the top of your plank, and then try this out with me. You can lower your knees if you want to. Exhale, lower just an inch. Inhale here. Exhale, lower another couple inches. Inhale. Exhale, halfway down, hold. And exhale to your belly. Woo, good job. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, fly your hands back, float your feet up, locust. This time, if it's in your practice, you can interlace your fingers. Remember to soften your glutes, bring your big toes together. Couple more breaths. And exhale, release. Turn your head to one side and rest. Really good work. One of my favorite things about these core classes is that so much of what we do is about holding ourselves away from the pull of gravity, that it feels fantastically wonderful when we can finally just give in. All right, bring hands alongside mid-ribs. This inhale, we're just gonna come up to hands and knees. And let's start some hip circles. So as you inhale, bring your hips forward towards your wrists. Exhale, press your hips off to one side. Either side is fine. Swing them all the way down towards your heels. And then as you inhale, they'll press off to the other side, so you're drawing a big circle. Take 3 or 4 rounds in one direction. after those 3 or 4 rounds, let's reverse the direction of our hip circles. Nice release for your back. Make sure you're still breathing. You can let go of that athletic exhale a little bit. It can be a little more of a release, but it's still with you. Then whenever you feel about balanced with those hip circles, take your knees out a little wider and place it back into child's pose. So hips towards your heels, forehead to the ground. If the ground feels far away, highly recommend a block or book or whatever you've got underneath your forehead. If child's pose is uncomfortable on your back, puppy is a great alternative. I'm going to demonstrate that. So your hips are right over your knees. You walk your hands out in front of you. You can lower to your forearms and just let your head hang. Or you can bring your forehead all the way to the ground. And even lift up onto your fingertips so you get a little more of a shoulder stretch. So lots of options here. Pick what's comfortable for you to hang out in for a few more rounds of breath. One more exhale. And start to make your way back up to hands and knees from wherever you are. Come to a seat on your mat. If you've got a block with you, you might want to keep it nearby for some finishing poses. We're not quite done with core, so hang in there with me, but I promise we're super close. So if you want to rock back onto your back, you could take a couple rocks and rolls. Sometimes this feels good. If it doesn't, just hang out on your back. We'll meet you there in a second. And then eventually let's all land down on our backs. For a tiny bit of core stabilization, just lift your knees up, stack your knees right over your hips, flex your feet. Bring your hands to the center of your thighs. Then making sure your knees don't come in any closer than your hips, take a full breath in. Exhale, push, hands into thighs, thighs back into hands, draw low belly down. Inhale, relax that press. Exhale, push, hands into thighs, thighs back into hands, pull navel down. Inhale, relax, we're gonna do one more like that. Exhale, push, hands into thighs, thighs back into hands, draw navel to spine. Inhale, relax, lower your feet to the ground. Bridge pose, arms along your sides to begin. Please make sure your feet are no wider than hip bone distance. That's gonna keep your knees in alignment. Then let's bend the elbows to create little robot arms here, fingertips pointing up. Push your elbows into the ground so much that your whole spine lifts off the ground except the base of your spine and back of your head. If you can, walk your elbows in closer to your body. Remember that pencil between the shoulder blades? We're looking for that level of strength and engagement here through the mid-back. Push with your elbows, hug in. Keeping all of that stability through your back, drive your heels down, lift your hips. Relax your glutes, so we don't need to squeeze the butt here, that can be relaxed. You want to keep pushing your elbows down, hugging your mid-back in to engage there. Big belly breaths, you can hopefully see and feel your belly rise and fall. Keep pushing down with your elbows, hugging in, lift your chin a little bit. Take one more big belly breath. And then walk your elbows out a little wider and slowly lower your hips. Let's take a reclining pigeon. Flex your right foot, cross right ankle over left knee. You can rock it a little bit side to side here if you like. For a deeper stretch, you can lift your left foot off the ground, reach your hands behind your hamstring or even to your shin, and rock a bit side to side. Maybe your eyes close or at least soften as we start to slow things down. No hurry here, but after 5 to 7-ish rounds of breath, you can lower your left foot and switch sides, uncrossing your legs and flexing your left foot as you cross left ankle over right knee. Same thing, perhaps some rocking. Eventually you can lift the foot, reach through if you like. once you feel balanced on both sides, lower that left foot down and cross your legs. Let's take a happy baby pose. So hug your knees in towards your chest. Catch either your big toes or the inside edges of your feet. Pull your knees wide and down towards your armpits. And then rather than just pulling down, also try pushing your feet a little bit back into your hands. That muscular energy is going to get your back to release a little bit more effectively. You'll feel that the lumbar curve, kind of that natural curve in your low back, is maintained. That's great. You can play around with extending one leg out to one side while the other bends, and then switching sides, or even taking both legs out, like an upside down, wide-legged forward fold. Few breaths here, releasing back and hips. And whenever you feel complete with happy baby, take another moment or two to take a final pose, poses, or stretch of your choice. A supine twist, like both knees stacking to one side, can feel good. An inversion, like a shoulder stand, or anything where your hips are higher than your heart. Those can be really nice finishing poses. About 10 to 15 rounds of breath to make yourself comfortable for Shavasana. And I really do encourage, by the way, with a practice that's this athletic, Shavasana is super important and super restorative. So if you have the time and space to spend a few minutes with us in that, I'm going to create that time. So take any poses that you need and then enter your Shavasana as you're ready, making yourself comfortable on your mat. You can spread out if that feels good, or you can turn your hands palms face down on your belly if you want to feel a little more grounded and contained. You could take a seated meditation if you prefer, lots of options. Again, no hurry, just arriving in final relaxation at your own pace. We're going to spend a few minutes here together in relative stillness, allowing everything we've felt, everything we've experienced through our yoga practice to really land. Please let go of your controlled breath. Let go of any holding or effort on your part. Allow yourself to just be supported by the ground underneath you and rest for these last few minutes of class. Take a full breath in. And exhale, release. Start to breathe yourself back awake, perhaps starting some small movement through fingers and toes. If you're reclined on your back, you could inhale your arms overhead in that full body stretch. And then exhale to roll off to one side, gathering your knees towards your chest to release your back. Couple breaths here on your side, feeling your back expand into the space behind you. forward to the front edge of your sit bones where it's easier to sit tall with your shoulders relaxed. And then let's one final time inhale to reach the arms overhead, gather up all that energy from our practice, and exhale, hands to heart center. To close your practice and acknowledge yourself. Thank you truly so much for fitting this into your day, into your space, and for being part of our 21st Yoga community. I really value this